So Danny Toner made me an awesome gift. He made me a leather insulated koozie. It says Jpaydirt on it. Let's just try that out. Let's just put some island seltzer in there. The Russell and Mindy sent me. Anyway, let's try that out. Ah, delish. Oh, by the way, Danny, all the Jpaydirt wallets are gone. I sold them all the other day. A gentleman bought my last two, so Jeff needs more wallets. Hey, thanks for the koozie. That's awesome. Danny's a talented man. The guy from DePaco's here measuring the curb. And so here's what's going on. The curb actually is about almost 13 inches wide. So when you measure it from back of curb to back of curb, you come up with 2510. So he's saying by the time we get the crown in and stuff, it should be 26. But here's the problem. So when they GPS this and they GPS the engineering company's hub stakes, what they found is that they're not in a straight line, and some of them were 6 to 7 inches different in width, and so that caused them a problem. GPS is cool stuff, but in the hands of amateurs, apparently it doesn't work very well. And then they designed this road with a vertical curve, like right up here. You can kind of see where the curb humps up, and that's really hard for them to do. They need basically high point to low point to run a virtual string line. They got her done, but the engineering company really screwed up where this meets the existing asphalt. It's just really poor staking and inaccurate staking, so it's really not making my confidence in GPS very good. For those of you that run it and use it, are you having problems with engineering firms doing it incorrectly? Are you finding that there's issues with it? Have you actually come back and checked with an instrument the GPS work to see if it's even close? So you can see that, how high that jumps up, and that was supposed to be a straight grade right into this existing asphalt right here, and that that really comes up. Okay, for those of you who don't understand what's going on with this curb, I want to try to explain this. So there's your ribbon curb right there. So you've got, from the center line, you got 12-foot lanes over, and then you got this 1 foot wide ribbon curb, and then you got 1 foot beyond that of compacted shoulder. So the challenge with building these ribbon curbs is normally you put in your 12 inches of pit run, and then you'd put in 4 inches of crushed, and then you'd put 2.5 inches of plant mix over the top of that. And most of them that I've done are usually 14-foot wide lanes with a 1 foot compacted shoulder. So with this road, you're basically only getting 13-foot wide lane. But in order to build this, you can only put 8 inches of pit run in, and then you got to put in your material for your curb. And because that machine is so big, so anyway, he said he needed a 12-foot wide pad. So by the time you do all that, your 3/4 is all the way out to the center. There's just no other way to do it unless you had a miniature grader. But even at that, you're not going to have much room in here to add any material. Now I could have come in and I could I could have tried to roll this 3/4 over here to the ribbon curb, and then tried to put in the extra pit run and then the 3/4 over it, because pit run is the type of gravel we just dig it straight out of the ground and use it. It's a whole lot cheaper than crushed, so you run the risk of pulling up rocks and stuff and contaminating your 3/4. So by the time you did all that, it just doesn't make any financial sense to do that. When this gets all done, you've got these ribbon curbs. You're now trapped inside here. So once you get inside there, you have to go all the way to the other end, 2,900 feet, to turn around. With the water truck, with the blade, with anything, you can't drive off the sides. So that's another huge cost in the amount of time you waste. If you got to turn around with the blade and start pushing stuff the other way or whatever, it just is a pain. And then the water truck, he can't turn around, so it just adds to the cost incredibly of the subdivision, which then, people that buy the lots and want to build a house, it's all on them. The costs all go on them. Hope that answers your questions. That's the cross section. 6-inch thick curb, 12 inches wide, and they just poured on here. Okay, I'm trying to pull this material up behind the back of the curb, and this is another major expense associated with this dumb ribbon curb, is the amount of time it's going to take to finish this and not spill this up over the curb and into where we're going to be working, trying to finish for pavement. It's just a major expense trying to finish this, and it's not worth it, because they'll just let the people come in here when they do their houses, and they'll fill all these ditches with dirt, and they'll plant grass, and they'll put fences and curbing, and just sprinkler systems right out to the edge of it. So it just defeats the whole purpose of it. So that's what it looks behind me. Sometimes I get it up on the curb. I'm gonna have to go back and get it off. That's all handwork. I'm just trying to get something behind it so that when we put the 3/4 in for the pavement, that this curb has got something behind it to keep it from getting pushed out if somebody whacks it, me. So you're probably asking yourself why I'm straddling the curb like this and doing this. Well, I've got to have something behind the curb to support it while we prep for pavement. If I could get the whole machine outside the curb, I would, but I can't take out these curb stakes out here, because that's our grade for the road. Now the oil goes to the top of the curb on the sides, but we've still got a set center line, and so there's one right there. I gotta keep that. I can't wipe that out yet. So I'm just crawling along. I got my left lift ram all the way up, and I'm not clearing that curb by much. Occasionally I can hear it whack it. Man, I got to pick up the right hand side right now. That's why I'm crawling. I don't want to hook that thing and just bust it and tear it out, because it's still kind of green. So I'm going to put the camera down. Okay, you want to watch me gouge some curb here?
Oh, I must have had rocks in my head when I believed anything that you said. Like a puppy, I rolled over and played dead. Oh, I must have had rocks in my head. Many nights I've waited up till 12 o'clock. But that's all over now, my waiting's gonna stop. I'll get dressed up and I'll go out on the town. While I live it up, then you can live it down. Oh, I must have had rocks in my head when I believed.
Okay, that's the best I could do to clean that up, but right now I'm just trying to get it somewhat close. They've been hauling us in gravel, but they're done for the day, so I'm not going to get any more. So I just have to roll it back and forth till I get it over here. Matt's put some lines on the curb, but before long I'm gonna have to have some hubs. Anyway, it was like 80 some degrees today, but that's all going bye-bye after today. We're gonna be in the 50s, chance of rain. So I tried the best I could to bring some material up along the back of the curb without taking out our hub stakes. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't need any cobbles in here. It's the best I could do right now. Once those are gone, I can pull this up and do a better job. Once it's all paved and everything, it's not going to be a problem. But you know, if I get stuff up on the curb, then I can just sit up on the asphalt and brush it off. No big deal. I'll win. I'll beat its ass. So it's the end of Friday and we've made it down to the corner. This has sure been a pain to grade. I'm gonna go home and tomorrow I'm gonna make a tool to attach to the moldboard that's gonna ride on top of this curb. And then the cutting edge will be down 2.5 inches. Because if I can cut this curb grade right to where I need it, it's going to save me a ton of time. And then all I got to do is hit the hub stakes in the center, the Bluetooth feathers. But tomorrow I think we got an 80% chance of rain, so good day to come out and work on the motor grader. So you guys have yourself an awesome Memorial weekend. Okay, I'm going to build me a deal that will fit on the edge of this, and then I'm going to have a shoe come out here that will run on the edge of the curb. And what I'll do is I'll come up 2.5 inches from the bottom of the cutting edge, and I'll cut a slot in that, and that's basically what's gonna set that 2.5-inch distance. I haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to do that yet. So what I've done is I've taken 2 bolts out of here, and I got this plate, and it's going to sit up here and weld to the back of this, and I'll just be able to bolt it on, take it off and on. So I brought some, this is all AR plate. This isn't just cold roll, cheap steel. This is 100,000 PSI steel, so it's going to be pretty tough. And then I brought a piece of thick, I think it's either T1 or it's AR, and it's curved from us cutting it. It came off some of the iron that we were building the apron on the Filthy Whore, and that's what I'm going to make my shoe that's going to ride on the curve. So wish me luck. Okay, I got to tack this to the cutting edge to hold it still, so I can butt the other piece up in there and go through here and mark the holes. So the plan is to get this on there, hold it on there while I mark for the holes. I'll have to get the bolts through, at least one, pull it down tight, maybe both of them, and then get that welded on there. And after I get everything all mocked up good, I'll have to take it off, and I got to do a bunch of cutting around the front side, and then I've got to make some pieces that are going to come off of some short pieces that'll come off of here, and then my shoe will weld to the bottom of them. Did I say this was AR plate? It's not AR plate. This is T1 steel right here. So let me go get my pencil and mark that. Okay, I've got them marked, if you can see it, one there and one there, and I've measured it, and they're going to be, the first hole is 3 inches to the center and the second one's 6. Wish I had a drill press handy. I'd just drill those, but I don't, so I'm just going to have to torch them. Oh, and I got my John Jpaydirt hat on. He's an expert blade hand, so I'm pretty sure that's going to help me make this. So I got my holes cut, and I just had to use a regular head bolt. Once I took both these out, the cutting edge kind of bowed out a little. So once I got it sucked down, I was able to go ahead and put the cutting edge bolt back in, and I got good enough threads. Just looking at these, I figured it was gonna work. So probably to put this off and on with, yeah, I can make it work. It'll suck it in. So I gotta weld this on there. Let's see, and then take it off and weld the other side because I can't get in there, and then probably cut a couple gussets, put here and here. And no, I didn't cut this, I just kind of cleaned it up. This was an old cut on that old piece of iron. And then I'll have to cut a couple more gussets that'll come off of this, and then I'll show you the bar I'm going to put on there. And then I'm going to have to carefully measure up 2.5 inches to get myself parallel. Otherwise it ain't going to work. So what I'm going to use for a slide is this piece right here. And I'm pretty sure this is a piece of T1. It's not AR plate. So this whole thing is going to be built out of high strength steel, so it ain't going to bend. But here's my thinking. So if I put that piece on there for a shoe and it's got a slight, you know, wowie on the ends, it can't dig into the concrete. It can just slide across the top. And then basically this piece is just going to keep stuff from spilling out and around. It'll help hold it, but a lot of this is going to get cut off in here. So I didn't even measure this. I need to come up, but I think I got plenty of room for, yeah, I got plenty of room for 2.5 inches. So if I can make this work, I can just go along the edge of the curb and let that ride on there lightly. And then if I've got my Bluetooth magic feathers out in the center line of the road, then all I got to do is hit that grade with the other side of the blade. Takes a lot of the work out of it. Now when I come to those corners down there, that's going to be tricky. That's going to be tough no matter what. But oh, I notched this so it went up in here a little bit, and that'll give it some strength in here. Yeah, I think my welds are holding too good here. I think I broke them. So I need to get this tacked on there next. So let's go look at the device I made to try to cut the curbs. So you see all the rock I got up on there. We'll talk about that later. That's kind of a hindrance to my tool working. So what I did is I made this gizmo right here, and this rides on the top of the curb, and it works really well. And you can see I got 2.5 inches there. It works really well if there's no rocks on the curb. I tried it out the other day. I didn't show all of the construction of this. I got kind of discouraged because the welding rod I got wouldn't weld. It was horrible. And Jake told me a long time ago, he says, hey, that big old box of Excalibur 7018 Lincoln welding rod, he says, I think it's full of moisture. He says, I can't make it weld. Well, I grabbed a handful of it, and I'm here to tell you what, it doesn't want to weld. The flux is full of moisture, but I got this put together, and what I did is I heated this edge up, and then I bent it like this so it wouldn't catch. So anyway, the only problem with it is I can't see the edge of my blade here because of the way I've built it. So you got to go slow and easy, but it will cut it right down to 2.5 inches. Now, whether or not this works, I'm going to find out Tuesday when we go back to work. I'll bring the broom and clean the crap off the curb and see how it works. But I got a guy who's got a real tool, and I'll show you a picture of it. John Scheidek has them, and it comes out here and it attaches, and it looks to me like it bolts to these bolts here. And it's got a hinge on it, and then it's got a brace, and I can't remember, I'm not sure how that's going to work on mine because my tilt cylinders are right here, but it shows it coming up here, and you attach something on your circle to hold it. So I'm not sure if it's going to work on mine. If I can figure out how to make it work, I'm going to buy it from him. It's brand new, he never used it. So it's Sunday, it's been a crappy rainy day, it's cold, windy. Anyway, you can see I'm still low right here. I'm actually low all the way up through this front. But I just wanted to show you all the right-of-way obstructions. Okay, this is the subdivision road coming in. If you notice right here, this guy's got his curb clear out to the asphalt, which isn't permitted. You can see there's grass clear out to the road, and they water the road, and yeah, so there, that guy's paved driveway extension is not on a 2%. This guy's got his sloped away. See all the curb and the rock. There's your giant mailbox structure, which isn't allowed either. This guy's fence comes clear out. You see the transformer there? He shouldn't be out any farther than the transformer. This guy's got lava rock clear out to the edge. So really the house is, you know, because of that right-of-way right there, the houses don't have a lot of room out front, but all they needed to do was set the houses farther back. I mean, these lots are huge, they're really deep, but the county's just kind of asleep at the wheel on all this stuff. And really, this clear to this transformer's going to be in the right-of-way, so technically all of this to here is no man's land. Now, I could care less if they planted grass at least up to here, but from here on over, this ditch should stay here, and they shouldn't be watering it. If they want to put decorative rocks or whatever, that's fine, spray the weeds, but they shouldn't be allowed to fill this in. So let's just go for a ride around here, and I'll show you the rest of it. So Jake's been putting me in some centerline grade. I came down here on this side and tried it out, and as you can see, like right in here, it worked pretty well. But there's a lump in the curb here where, for the life of me, I don't understand why they didn't flat grade this all the way to that corner. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but if you look right there along that curb, you see how that it's a short whoop and it comes up, and right in here there's a vertical curve, and it makes construction just absolutely miserable. I remember Matt's professor, when he was going down to ISU, told Matt, he said, you know, you understand construction and what it takes to build things. He said, you really, when you get done with this program, you should go down to lower campus and become a engineer, because he said you'd understand, you know, the ramifications of things you design and what it really takes to build it. And he would have made an excellent engineer. Most engineers don't know one end of a grade rod from the other, don't know anything about equipment, don't know what it takes to put a job together, and so that's why you end up with this stuff. So it comes down here, and you can see we're like, you know, 3 feet higher than the ground out there. And there's plenty of material all over here. This could have all been raised up. This corner and all this through here could have been cut down. There's another vertical curve in here for some reason. This all should have been straight grade through here. I mean, it's simple. This ground is you know, it's flat enough to have done a straight grade. You could have made the cuts here and there to do this and make it a straight grade. Down here, there's one spot you would have had to have a vertical curve, and that's fine because the vertical curve down here is very gentle and long, so the grader walks up over it fine. It's just not a problem, and you can see it right up here. You can see how that curve gently slopes down. And so engineers, if they understood what it takes to build this crap, maybe they wouldn't do it. So anyway, that's my rant for the day. Tuesday we'll go back to work. It'll probably take us, I'm guessing, till Thursday. I hope not. I'd like to be done by Wednesday. Get all the material in and get it bladed.